So we've got our Reform Full System. This is our premium, longest lasting graphene ceramic coating, and we're just going to show you how to apply it. We're going to start with Reform 1, which is the base coat, and then we're going to show you how to apply the Reform 2 top coat whilst running through the different timescales about when to apply the top coat after applying the base coat. We'll take things from there. First of all, we're going to start with the Reform 1 base coat. Now again, with this one, we're going to load the pad to probably about the top quarter. So we've got that much on the pad. And again, we're going to start in the middle, go around the edges, and then just work our way up and down the panel. Now you will notice with this product compared to the other products, it doesn't have a slick finish. Where it's a base coat, it's not designed to have a slick finish, it's designed to be a strong, durable base coat. So we recommend working not fast as such, not rushing, but because of the makeup of the product, we're just going to spread it on the surface. We don't need to wait loads of time. We don't really need to work it in. We just need to ensure that we've got it as an even coverage over the panel. So cross hatch still. And again, it feels quite smooth to apply, but we don't want to leave it on too long because it will flash quickly. And we want to make sure that we've got a nice simple buffing process with the cloth. So now I can go straight in with my buffing cloth. Again, I'm going to fold it into fours to give us plenty of cloth to work with. And we're going to start with the initial buff of the excess product, just to start the leveling process. And it'll be smooth on this part when you're buffing off. And then we're going to flip that cloth to another dry part of the cloth, and this is where it will go slightly tacky, just where it's already starting to bond with the bonnet or the surface that you're applying to. But we don't need to panic, don't need to rush. We're just ensuring that we're leveling it out properly. And then once we're happy with that second leveling process, we're going to flip the cloth one last time to the other quarters. And you'll feel on this one is the most tacky. But that's fine, that's to be expected. And you can see from your lights, so in our case we've got the warehouse lights, you can see where you've been and where you haven't, and if you need to do any more leveling. And that is the base coat applied. And it's already gone more sort of smooth. Like I say, it's not slick. It goes like a smooth kind of feel to underneath the cloth. So what we're going to do now is we need to let that sit before we put the top coat on. So ideally you're looking to let that sit for about an hour, maybe up to 2 hours, it depends on the conditions. So this can be applied outside, so if you're applying outside and it's a colder day, obviously it's going to take a bit longer for the base coat to set. So 1 to 2 hours, and then we'll go in with the Reform 2 top coat. Okay, so we've applied the Reform 1 base coat, and we've left it an hour, and now we're going to look to apply the Reform 2 top coat. How do we know when that base coat is ready for the Reform 2 top coat to be applied? Quite a good test is get yourself clean microfiber cloth, flat on the surface, and you should be able to spread it side to side without it lifting up. So if you're doing this and it drags like that, then it's still tacky, the base coat, and you need to give it more time. But if you could put the cloth on, move it side to side, and it stays nice and flat across the panels like that, then we know we're good to go with the top coat. Now this is a very different application to the base coat and the ceramics. It is a top coat, it is a different technology. It's there for increased slickness, but the main purpose of this is for the self-healing capabilities of the product. Again, we're going to load up the pad, and we're going to make sure we've got a good amount of product on the pad. It's a lot thinner, this top coat, so I tend to put that much on the pad. And with this, a bit like the base coat, in the fact that we're not going to leave it on the surface for ages. But we're just going to spread it, and it will spread nicely, but you will also see it start to kind of sweat and bead up once it's put onto the surface, and that's fine, that's normal, that's what you want to see, that's not an issue. And then again, we're just going to spread it over the full surface. Bit of cross hatching to ensure we've got decent coverage. And that's all we need to do. We can now go straight in with our buff stage, and again, folding the cloth into 4. And we're just gonna nice and gently buff the surface. And you'll see it kind of smear across the surface initially. That's just all down to leveling of the coating. And what you'll feel under the cloth is it will go nice and slick, which is part of the design of the product. So we've done that initial buff, then we're going to go over the second buff, and this is where you're really doing the final leveling, and it will really feel super slick. As you can see, it's very easy to move the cloth, super slick under the surface. And with this stage, it's about taking your time, ensuring that you're leveling the coating well, getting rid of any potential smear marks that you can see. Sometimes you can over apply the product and then you feel like you're just smearing product around. That's not the case. If you do get to that point where you feel like you're getting a bit smeary on the surface, just flip the cloth again, because all that's happening is you're just spreading excess product around. So if you flip the cloth to a drier part, you're actually leveling it properly and pulling it off the surface. But it's very simple. As you can see, there's no effort involved in the buff of this top coat, and it is lovely and slick to apply it. Again, you really want to use your lights. That'll pick up any smearing in the coating, so you can ensure you've got that sort of perfect finish that you're looking for with it. I'm just going to do this final up and down before I check in my lights. I've got a couple of little bits left there. And again, the good thing with this product, because of its makeup, you have a lot of working time once it's applied on the surface. So if you do pick up some smears down the line, don't panic. You've got time to go in and carry on leveling if you need to. This isn't about rushing through this. This is a high quality professional grade coating, and it's about getting it right rather than rushing it. And when you're going around an actual car, we've done a whole bonnet in one hit here. You might break that bonnet down into 2 sections. It's whatever you're comfortable working with. For us, obviously, as the manufacturer, we're comfortable doing a whole panel at a time, and the more you use the product, the more you get used to it. Now, what you might find certain times of year, depending on humidity, because of how hydrophobic and how quickly it kind of sets and becomes hydrophobic as a top coat, you might get almost like misting on the surface. What that is just humidity in the air forming droplets on the surface. So it looks like misting. It's actually just droplets of water that are forming as almost like condensation on the surface. And where it's so hydrophobic, it will come up as tiny little beads that look like misting. So don't panic about that. Every now and again, you can go back and give it a quick buff just to level it off, but that is purely what it's down to, is just the internal or external, depending on where you're applying it, conditions of what's around the coating, and it's causing that misting on the surface. It's not the coating itself, it's moisture in the air doing that. So there we go, guys. That's the application of the Reform Full System. It's not complicated, but follow the right steps. Don't rush, take your time, and you'll be good to go. Final thing to mention with the Reform 2 is when you're applying it, especially in warmer months, you might find that as you're going around the car, because of how quickly it will start to cure on the surface, it does the same on the pad. And because of the makeup, it will actually repel itself off the pad. So when you're trying to put it onto the pad, you might find it beads up and wants to roll off. The way to get around that is quite simply you tip the bottle onto the pad, and then you almost work it in like this. So you just tap it into the pad, and that ensures it doesn't bead up and roll off. It's that simple. I can't show you it today, purely because conditions are a lot cooler, so it's not curing on the pad as quickly. But in the summer months especially, and especially if you're applying outside, you'll find the pad will start to cure from the product. And when you go to put it on, it may well bead up. So all you've got to do is just dab it into the pad to get it onto the pad without it beading up and rolling off.